Hello there, I'm Peter Meehan. I'm from the Cybersecurity Workforce Alliance. I'm one of the co-founders here. And today I'm with Kaylin Harman. She's recently gone through our courses, or one of our courses, and she's going to talk to us about her experience and what value it's going to give to her career pathway. So Kaylin, say hello and tell us a bit about yourself.
Peter. So I am currently active duty Navy, and I'm in my transition process from the Navy, and I've decided to pivot into cybersecurity. And I've decided to make that pivot because I really want to continue to do my job, and I'm looking for a different way to do it. So I kind of stumbled upon cybersecurity, and within my research, I've been able to look at it in a way of I can continue my job of helping people, protecting companies, protecting assets, and identifying different threats, different systems, and still be able to be an asset and be able to help others ultimately.
And that's excellent. I can see from your background how you can make that transition. And given what we've heard from your input to the courses, I think you're going to have a great career ahead of you. But tell us, how did you find the course? I mean, you came to us through the grant-funded Tech Boost course, which was funded through Clark University, Department of Labor. But how did you find the course? And was it so very different from military training and things like this?
The course itself is very, very different from military training. It's actually given me a very valuable insight into what it's going to be like with my transition and becoming a civilian and working in the civilian workforce. Just presenting to what would be a board of directors, it's been a massive help for me developing the communication skills I've needed to learn how to translate some of the words I'm used to using or the acronyms I'm used to using into something that can be easily understood. Ultimately, how I found the course, I kind of stumbled upon it. I was looking through LinkedIn, looking for different opportunities, and honestly, just a way to learn. Luckily, I joined the course and I did get lucky and I got a grant, but ironically with Act Now and Jay, I saw it right at about 2 days after I enrolled in the course. Act Now actually began sponsoring and presenting iQ4 to the veteran community. So ultimately I stumbled upon it on my own, but had I not, it actually would have been presented to me just a few days later.
Well, we've got a great working relationship with Jay Salters and the Act Now Foundation. That's really good. But there's the thing about the course, it helps develop the professionalism and executive presence that you need in the civilian world. And it's different. The ability to actually talk to senior executives and regulators is something you're going to be finding very different as you transition into the civilian world. You got involved in the NIST cybersecurity framework methodology. How did you find going through that on a weekly basis with the lessons and assignments?
I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. And quite a few times it surprised me. I was surprised with some of the level of knowledge I already had, because I always thought, oh, I'm just a dumb military cop, right? How do I have anything that pertains to cybersecurity? How can I understand this, right? But as I was going through each pillar, a lot of these things stood out to me. It was like, oh, I know what defense in depth is. Oh, I know what, a risk looks like. I know, how to do risk matrix. I know what these things look like. And I was able to kind of take that prior experience and meld it into it. But some of the things that surprised me were things that I had not necessarily haven't heard of, but I got to do more research into. So for example, what do software controls look like? And how do you implement those and how do you do it ethically and legally? So there's a lot of different facets to each part of the pillars in cybersecurity with the NIST framework that honestly, it was a very, very wonderful experience for me to really delve into each of these pillars. And that's why this course is so great, is because each week you're focused on one pillar, but in a way to where you're applying that pillar to your case as a whole. So you can learn each pillar and how it integrates into cybersecurity and how it also integrates in your case of the do's and do nots and what we should have done better.
Yeah. Well, how valuable do you think the mentoring component was?
Extraordinarily valuable. I honestly wouldn't even be able to put a price on it. I've gotten to speak with each of the mentors. Our mentor was Teresa. She was fantastic for me, getting that insight into what it's like being, you know, a female and a woman in the cybersecurity realm itself. And also really digesting the fact that, yes, there's so many different roles, but you do not absolutely need the technical skills. You don't need to learn how to 100% code in Python to do this job. Whereas, you know, someone outside looking in, especially when you first approach, you're like, well, crap, how am I going to learn, you know, how to learn this whole new language? Well, it's not every position requires you to do that. Now, it's quite a few. You're going to need some hands-on training in some different aspects, but not everything's so bombardedly technical. And the mentors really help us, and they've guided us in how we're framing how we think within a case. Or, hey, I see you guys did a great job in this, but let me tweak it here. And this is why this might be better to present this to a board of directors.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, their insight with what we were doing, how we were framing our work, really, it's just been invaluable.
So why would you recommend this to fellow veterans transitioning out of the military?
I think this is a very good way. This course itself is a very, very good way to really step your foot from the military world into the civilian world in a controlled environment, but in an environment where you have the support there, you have the mentors there to help you and encourage you along the way, but they're also there to teach you and guide you and help you learn those transition phases and how to present. Presenting is a huge thing. Communication is a huge thing. And with this course, you're expanding upon that, and you're expanding upon your knowledge and becoming comfortable with having that conversation with a board of directors or someone who makes a lot of very serious decisions. And having that type of communication in a way to where it's easily understood is detrimental to becoming successful once you do separate from the military.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because when we created the cybersecurity workforce back in 2015 with the chief information security officers of many of the Wall Street banks and the Federal Reserve, that's exactly what they wanted. We recognize.
I would definitely say they hit the nail on the head.
Well, that's why all of our courses are designed by professionals like them, because they know the learning outcomes that they want to actually see at interview and help people transition into the workplace. And the value for them is if they can get people through our courses before they hire them, they're saving the first 90 days or so in having to transition them and upskill and ready for the job. So with that, thank you so much for this interview. I really appreciate it. And we look forward to helping you on your career pathway, and welcome to the CWA community.
Thank you, Peter. And thank you so much for letting me talk with you today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.